Welcome back to Hamilton. Our Toyota scoring summary brought to you by Toyota, makers of the Toyota passenger van with comfortable seating for 7. Who could ask for anything more? Canada took her into the lead on a goal by Rochefort at the 43-second mark. Homotov tied it up at 1:27. Then Doug Gilmour with his second of this tournament at 3:48 to give Canada the lead. And then Paul Coffey, his second also at 12:41. Canada outshooting the Soviets 17-13 in that opening period, which was played at breakneck speed.
Well, this is the 4th Canada Cup tournament. I have seen every game in the Canada Cup that Canada has played. It is the greatest period offensively I've ever seen them play. This team has got its problems, of course. It's notoriously weak on defense. It has some problems with injuries and so on, but there's absolutely, even with the 76 team, I can't remember a period like they put in here. Now, you must remember that it was a very offensive kind of a period. The Soviets had some offense of their own. The 17-13 shots on goal would tell you that. But the intensity level both sides was incredible.
Our hats off, and Brad Clark has already pointed this out to the fans here in Hamilton tonight. They have been terrific and really gave Team Canada a lift at the start of this game.
Oh, that was a tremendous ovation and a prolonged one. They have to feel it. You know, that pre-game ceremony business lasts a fair length of time, and the team gets ready with the pre-game skate, then comes out. Both teams have to stand around and wait. It's not like it's one-sided, but when you've got your fans going the way the fans were here, I'm sure that it inspired Team Canada.
Well, Beloshakin takes over in goal again. We'd heard reports that they were thinking of perhaps making goaltending change, but they're staying with number 20, Beloshakin.
Now they're
Soviet huddle, so to say.
Mike Keenan
hasn't smiled much after first periods in this tournament.
No, he's been behind most of the tournament after first periods. This is the best opening period, obviously. It's one of the greatest periods ever played, as I said. So, in terms of Canada Cup play, Canada is going to open the period killing off a penalty. Penalty to Mike Gartner for charging the goaltender, Beloshakin. We will, you know that the Soviets have been discussing the remainder of this power play, and there's a minute 30 left.
Canada will send out Mark Messier with Doug Gilmour up front as penalty killers.
Mike Gartner, by the way, playing in his 50th international game tonight. He is by far the leader in that department on Team Canada, starting with the 79 World Junior Tournament, 78 tournament, right through many World Championships, and this is second Canada Cup.
Here's a key part of this game. Soviets on a power play for another minute and 30 seconds. They have their green unit out there. Larionov, Makarov, and Krutov up front with Fetisov and Kasatonov on defense. Immediately cleared down the ice. Canada with Messier and Gilmour to kill it off. Crossman and Rochefort on defense. Here's Krutov. Rochefort fell. Soviets, Makarov trying to drop it back. Intercepted by Gilmour to Messier. Messier to Crossman into center ice to Doug Gilmour. Gilmour moving in. Gilmour trying to get away from Kasatonov. And now Fetisov comes up with it, and here come the Soviets. Here's Larionov. Poke checked nicely by Rochefort, cleared by Crossman. Kasatonov back together. Canada changing on the fly. Kasatonov to Krutov. Broken up by Messier and cleared out into the center ice area. Larionov. 40 seconds left. Another good defensive play by Canada. Messier trying to clear it in, but intercepted by Krutov. Here's Kasatonov leaving it for Fetisov. He shoots it in. Rochefort over to get it. Rochefort knocked down, fell on top of the puck, and we get a stoppage in play. 23 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Very good penalty killing by Canada to this point.
A shot of Normand Rochefort of the Quebec Nordiques, somewhat controversially on this team, and I think the biggest booster for Normand Rochefort was Serge Savard of the Montreal Canadiens, who highly recommended him, and his one line about Rochefort is, take a look at the Nordiques record when he is not playing for them. In other words, when he's out with an injury and so on. He's played very, very steadily. Here are all the great games that have been played in the Canada Cup action. That 3-1 game in 1976, a very important game as it saved Canada, who were in danger of missing the playoffs that year. They wound up in the playoffs against Czechoslovakia and won in 2 straight games.
Soviets still with 10 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Pekov moving in. Sutter breaks it up. Hartsburg trying to clear it. Gets it to Brent Sutter. Sutter couldn't chip it out. Now held in by Holmatov. Holmatov centers in front. A shot. Pure, a big save on Kamyansky, who was in a low. And now the penalized player Gartner back on. What a save by Pure. Puck cleared down by the Soviets. Hartsburg back to get it against Holmatov. Hartsburg holding him off, and Goulet tries to clear it. But Dotop at the point. His shot blocked. Back off and drive. And that's wide, and Gretzky has it for Canada. To Trent Hartsburg. Hartsburg moving in, leaves it for Gretzky. Gretzky back in front. Hartsburg just missed with the tip in. Now Sutter in the corner. And the Soviets try and fire it out of there. Hit a skate. And Gusarov then does get it into center ice. Lomakin moving in. Shot. Pure the save. Big rebound. But they pan it in. Here's Gartner with Goulet and Gretzky. Gartner with a big booming shot wide of the net. And Samak, number 18. Headmans it into center ice. Here is Lomakin. Lomakin shoots. Pure glove save, and he held onto it. But what a save Pure made just near the end of that penalty. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Went to the short side, and Pure smelled it out as moving in was Lomakin, rather, as he moved in.
All right, for a face-off deep in Team Canada's end. And Coffey comes up with it. Round on the boards. Hartsburg for Team Canada. To Brian Propp, number 26. Propp leaving it for Coffey. Up the middle to Gartner, but Fetisov tied him up well, and Fetisov made a neat play and now feeds it to Lomakin. Lomakin leaving it for Semyonov. He fell down. Coffey to Gartner, who's in the clear. Off the shoulder of Bellow Shaker. Gartner on a breakaway. And the Soviets dodge a bullet there. Back comes Samak. He moves into Lomakin. Number 23, Lomakin to Semyonov. Passed it off to Fetisov, who couldn't get the shot away. Now Lomakin. Murphy breaks that up. And here's Bork passing it to Propp. Propp gets it out of the zone. Semyonov, number 30, back to Fetisov, who has to chase backcourt. Canada leading 3-1. We're early in the second period. Long pass to Semyonov. Hits the linesman. Semyonov able to get it. Semyonov moving in, centered, and it's knocked away by Pure. He just batted that one away. Now the Soviets with movement left, number 8. Got it behind the net. Bork is there for Canada. Bouncing it off the boards. Stelno pitching in, trying to hold it. And it's held against the boards for another stoppage in play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Shelf skipped over top of the net. Gardner with that great speed and alone at center ice. The last thing they need is to have him floating around behind the defense.
Here's Rochefort for Canada to Dale Howardchuk, tipping it down into the Soviet zone. And then Chinop, number 12, has it. He breaks out, but Rochefort is there defensively. And Canada take over. Here's Klossman to Dale Howardchuk. Howardchuk firing it in for Anderson. Glenn Anderson in against Stelno. Now Messier in front to Rochefort. A whack at it. That went wide. Into the corner is Anderson. Anderson tied up by Stelno. Centered. Messier was there, but it bounced off his stick. Klossman into Howardchuk. Messier barges in there. He ties Gusarov up. And Canada with some aggressive forechecking force a face-off in the Soviets' end of the ring.
Just as aggressive are the Soviets inside their own zone. We're used to them trying to handle the puck a little more. Now they're just playing the man. And in the corner, that's Stelnov, who had his run-in the other night with Messier. Well, a little whack across the side of the helmet to finish all of that off. They have got some aggressive guys. Stelnoff will go after you a little bit, so will Gusarov, two of the younger defensemen. Absolutely no question that Fetisov cannot be intimidated, or Kazatonov inside the zone. And there is Vladimir Krutov, Soviet's most valuable player last year, the most valuable player in the Soviet Union. Little guy at 5'9", but you can't move him.
He's had 6 goals so far in this tournament. So he's a Soviet player to keep an eye on. Soviets able to shoot it to center. Sutter back for Team Canada. Off the boards to Craig Hartsburg. Hartsburg gives it to Gretzky. And Gretzky, who's out on the forward line with Messier and Sutter, or at least with Goulet and Sutter, gives it to Michel Goulet. Goulet fires a long one in. Fetisov back after it. Fetisov up the middle. Larionov over to Krutov to Makarov. Trying to center. And Crossman did a good job of tying up Krutov. Canada trying to clear it. Goulet picks up the loose puck. Headmans to Sutter. Number 21, Brent Sutter shooting it in. And number 14 back to get it is Fedotov for the Soviets. That's prop in forechecking. Now Mario Lemieux had it, and the play is called on an offside at the Soviet blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Canada leading 3-1. They played 5 minutes 57 seconds here in the second period. Period with not the high-powered offense that we saw in the first period. They've settled down a little bit, but there was absolutely no way that they were going to continue the way they were. Number 3 there, second in the foreground, is Gusarov. Pretty good young defenseman.
Canada with a line of Lemieux, Prop, and this man Gartner into forecheck. Here's Kasatonov. Getting it into center ice. Pekov over onto the wing to Kamensky. A quick wrist shot that's high and wide. And Prop quickly tips it back into center ice. Here's Fetisov trying to feed it through for Homatov. He was checked, and now back and controlling is Larry Murphy for Canada. Murphy against Kamensky around to Gartner. Gartner lets it go, and Mario Lemieux racing after it. Lemieux bumping with Kasatonov trying to center. Now Prop does center. And Bellows-Shaken able to freeze it in his goal crease for another stoppage.
Want to see the little things that make a play. Mario Lemieux going in after that puck. It was a one-on-one situation. He just reached around. Now watch him reach. This is the tag end of the play and control that puck. But he got Kasatonov off the play prior to that. When he reached around, just grabbed him by the arm, enough to just spin him away from the puck and let him get the edge going into the corner. What are those two guys talking about? Coffey and Lemieux.
Maybe how they get a 4th goal. Here's Messier with Anderson and Howard Chuck back to Rochefort. Shot off Bellows-Shaken stick. Now James Patrick firing it in behind the net for Canada. Howard Chuck into center. Comes to the point to Patrick. Shoots one. Bellows-Shaken had it go off his stick. Howard Chuck centered. Anderson didn't see it. And the Soviets cleared, and Patrick goes back to get it. Penalty coming up to the Soviets. Here's James Patrick in across the line. He's checked. And as soon as the Soviets get possession, now a holding penalty coming up against the Soviets. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Stelnoff gets the holding call at 7:04. The Soviet Union 0 for 3 on the power play. And Canada out there now. They'll have Messier in the middle. And the fans starting to heat it up again. Canada 0 for 1 on the power play. The Soviets 0 for 3.
And that alignment. A star-studded power play unit it is. Messier, Gretzky, and Lemieux up front. Hartsburg and Murphy, the point man. Here is Hartsburg. Firing it around onto the boards. Lemieux in the corner. Lemieux trying to center it, but it's picked off and cleared out of there by Pervukin. And Hartsburg has to go back. Brent Hartsburg from the Minnesota North Stars. giving it to Messier. Over to Lemieux. Back to Gretzky. Gretzky center. Murphy had moved in. His shot blocked. Centered by Murphy, but intercepted, and Pagoda cleared it, and a good defensive play there by Hartsburg to break up a dangerous rush. There's Messier to Lemieux. Cross to Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky for Canada. To Mario Lemieux. To Murphy. Murphy's shot blocked. And Makarov fires it out of there for the Soviets. Hartsburg back to get it. A minute left in the penalty. Here's Lemieux to Gretzky. Gretzky to Anderson. Missed him as it was tipped. And Verbuchen clears it away. 50 seconds left in the Soviets penalty. Here's Paul Coffey. Lemieux fires it in. Anderson charging in. Coffey right behind him, but Beckhoff breaks out for the Soviets. And that's Coffey who came back and broke that up. Now Beckhoff again. Moving in. Shoots. Fuhr the save. Loose puck in front. Batted away by Fuhr. Here's Kasatonov. But his shot blocked. And Canada clear it to center. Here's Gretzky. Into Anderson. Cutting in. Shoots. Big save there on Glenn Anderson. Mario Lemieux with a dozen seconds left in the penalty. To Gretzky. In front to Lemieux. Canada went wide. Now Lemieux centers. Grant shot wide by Anderson. There's Gretzky. To Anderson. That shot blocked. Delno back on. And the Soviets break out. Soviets back at full strength. There's Beckhoff. Leaving it for Fetisov. To Kasatonov. Shoots up high off the glass. And the puck bounces all the way to the Soviet line. That's Gilmore in to try and get it. Fetisov took him out, and then Belosheikin cleared it right through his goal crease. And then it's cleared up over the boards at the Team Canada bench. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Yevgeny Belosheikin seems to be a little shaky, but he's still keeping his team in the game. There's all kinds of action in front of the net. 66 is Mario Lemieux. Anderson jamming it up in front. He's without his stick now. Belosheikin is. There's a whack at it. Belosheikin covering the angle, going into that butterfly. Gretzky picking it up with Lemieux moving in as well into the corner. Terrific action.
That was Canada's best flurry of this period. Now, the Soviets still trailing by a pair of goals. Move it out of there. Shot down into Canada's zone with Rossman back to give it to Hartsburg. Hartsburg flipping it into center ice. Now Semyonov, number 30. He breaks in. Trying to center. Does. Tipped away by Prop. And then Canada able to clear it into the neutral ice area. Here's Semyonov. Long pass across. Over onto the far side. Samak to Lomakin. Lomakin, number 23, to Semyonov. Comes to the points. Delno moving in. His shot a weak one, and it went wide. And Gilmore for Canada beats Brian Prop. Quickly at center, intended for Gartner, but tipped up over the boards into the crowd.
Kind of playing a man-on-man type defense inside the zone. Very, very good defense, as Canada is not allowing the Soviets to get loose at all. Craig Hartsburg, the outstanding defenseman at the World Hockey Championships this year. And that means he was a better defenseman as far as the jury was concerned, which is made up of the IIHF directive, than Fetisov and Kasatonov and all of the others.
And this has been Hartsburg's best game of this Canada Cup, at least from where I sit. Here's a chance for the Soviets moving in. Backhand shot by Nemchinov. Now back of the goal. Pumilev trying to center. He gets tied up in knots there by Murphy, and we get a stoppage in play.
Hard to find somebody who isn't playing well for Team Canada tonight. We've had spotty performances, and this is all part of the problem of getting ready and becoming a team. Chance in front of the net. Now watch the pad save and the stick, as again Fuhr is just outstanding. The Soviets have had every excuse to get it back into this game, but Fuhr, every time that they've come close, has been there to stop them.
Here are the Soviets with Nemchinov, Pryakin, and Pumilev their forward line. And Canada with control right now. Glenn Anderson Firing one up the middle, intended for Messier, but that was offside in the play. And the faceoff will come back from where the pass came.